Sony Pictures Animation is looking to be one of the most embarrassing animation studios this year, at least in terms of its theatrical releases. You start with The Smurfs, The Lost Village, follow that up with the Emoji Movie, and then end the year with The Star. Now, all of these have one thing in common. Number one, they all have the in them. But number two, they all look really, really bad, or at least marginally bad. The first movie I didn't want to talk about Sony all the time. I just made the Emoji Movie a preamble, right? That's something that I already talked about just now. But then Sony released the Star trailer, I guess, to get in front of the Emoji Movie and show off what the next project they're working on was. And I think that it was a bad decision because, man, this thing looks ridiculously bad. And I love the fact that people are disliking this trailer. I'm so glad that this is not getting the Emoji Movie hype. Anything religious, America's not going to like it if it's being taken into bad satire form. And it looks like the Star is going down that direction. So, you have all these big cast members. You have all these big actors that are going to be signed on to this movie, and it looks like crap. Let's talk at first about the animation here. The animation looks almost awful, to be honest with you. There are moments when, yes, it shows that this movie is made in 2017 and it looks somewhat semi-good. But then there are moments when this trailer, maybe because it's not actually fully done production, looks like it came out in 2007. It looks like it could have gone up alongside Ratatouille or Surf's Up, right? Like, it looks like it could be a decade old because it just graphically looks that bad. I think it is generally embarrassing, at least in my eyes. Not to Sony's eyes, because, this is their 2017 Smurfs, Emoji Movie, and now this, The Star. And the fact that they're going in this direction by showing animals, I think they're a year late on this. If we all remember, 2016 was filled with a bunch of anthropomorphic animals, right? That was the whole thing. You had Zootopia, you had Kung Fu Panda, you had just countless movies that were Finding Dory and all these other movies that were focused on animals. Sony's coming out a year later with The Star, all focused on animals. And not only does it look as bad as Nut Job 2, it looks even worse, I have no problem with religious-based movies. Hell, I don't really mind if they go in that direction. The Prince of Egypt is one of the best, is probably the best that's come out to theaters that's based on religious themes outside of Passion of the Christ. Why does everything have to be comedy-based? Why can't you just make a solid animated movie with your CGI content, Sony? Everything has to be funny and jokey and crap. You can't just make a solid movie like Pixar or like Disney. You can't tell a good story. You have to make a bunch of poop jokes along the way. And I think that that's really just, again, it's embarrassing because you guys can't go any further than just making a bunch of crap. But the nativity story, I guess they're trying to make sure that they will somehow make this a big fall or winter box office huge thing. And you know what? Cool. Additionally, the budget for this, is $18 million. At least that's what we've heard. $18 million. That is incredibly low. So they're not even expecting to they're expecting to obviously make a profit off of this. Just like, Captain Underpants was set at a very low budget and was hoping to make a pretty good amount of box office revenue. That didn't happen, of course, but we'll see about this movie as well. I really hope Coco destroys this movie. I really do hope that we find that Coco just keeps steamrolling through the year and that people aren't swayed by the fact that this is a Christmas movie to go out during Christmas. I really do hope that maybe, just maybe, we will see Sony, for the third time in a row, have a box office bomb. And again, third time in a row because I hope that Emoji Movie also fails. Sony failed with Smurfs 3, That's, I think, their fault for having two Smurfs movies that were bad, even if they tried to make a good story, which they semi-did with Smurfs 3. That's on their own fault for making two movies that were originally bad. Then you have Emoji Movie, which we will see how that does. If that makes $1 billion, then fuck it. You guys are just letting them continue to make this awful lineage of bad stuff. You have The Star here. Let's see how that does too. Releasing on November 10th, 2017. And I think that's a little bit further ahead than it should be if it's going to be a movie that's going to be going alongside Coco, which comes out literally a couple weeks later in the States. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. I really do hope, though, that that Coco will that it won't even make money. I really hope it doesn't make money. I really hope that somehow we see this thing just get ignored, because, God, this looks bad. Like, I don't know what person logically wrote this and said, let's put this to theaters, and why Sony is the one helming this. I think that's where I'm more embarrassed. Like, what should be more embarrassing? Again, if it was made by the same creators as Nut Job 2, I'd be okay with that. But I thought that's Sony, and maybe I'm giving too much respect to the brand. If Sony's trying to fix themselves, then you don't make crappy films like this, you know. And like I said in my prior video, you should be supporting your gaming franchise, your gaming division, the one that's making you the most revenue. Use the characters that are in that brand to then self-promote yourselves and stop making crap like that. Again, I've said this over and over. I'm tired of saying it. It's just annoying that Sony continues to go down this rabbit hole of crap, and we'll see where they go. We'll see how Emoji Movie does by the end of this weekend. I'll have some thoughts on it. Maybe I'll do a review. I don't know. I can't really ensure that because, man, I don't know if I really want to go and deal with that. Anyway, guys, tell me your thoughts. Thanks for watching. I'm Brian Swan, and as always, stay tuned for more.